Hello, this is TTV News broadcast on Tay Ninh radio and television station. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning of June 26, Mr. Cui Commune, Secretary of the Tay Ninh Provincial Party Committee, visited and encouraged the officials and soldiers of Tân Phú Border Post, Tân Bình Border Guard Station, and 4 anti-COVID-19 posts under the station's management. Accompanying the delegation, there were leaders of provincial departments and Tân Biên district.
At this destination, the Secretary Cui Commune was briefed on the performance of duties as well as advantages and disadvantages of the units in the border areas. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, officials and soldiers of the border force and local military are always on duty. Until there are still many difficulties, with the determination of to fight against the pandemic like fighting against enemy, so far they have basically controlled the security and order situation, as well as epidemic prevention and work on the border. Mr. Cui Commune highly appreciated the officials and soldiers for successfully completing the task of protecting the border. He also shared the difficulties. The Secretary Provincial Party Committee also noted that currently the situation of the COVID-19 pandemic is very complicated. The acts of illegal entry into Vietnam tend to increase, so the task of border management and protection to the pandemic prevention and control is much more difficult. He urged corps and soldiers to uphold the spirit and responsibility of fighting the epidemic by fighting against the enemy, maintaining the health for themselves as well as the community. Particularly, it is very necessary to be vigilant, absolutely not betting the objects for illegal entry, overcoming all difficulties to fulfill the task of the border management and protection, and participating in the prevention and control of the COVID-19 pandemic with the highest efficiency.
Meanwhile, the delegation led by Standing Deputy Secretary of the Tay Ninh Provincial Party Committee Phạm Hùng Thái visited officials and soldiers of the forces on duty at the Golden Century supermarket-based isolation area Bến Cầu district, Long Phước Border Guard Station, and a number of anti-COVID-19 posts directly under the station's management. The delegation also visited the forces on duty at the isolation area of Phước Bình Secondary School, Phước Chỉ Border Guard Station, and some COVID-19 prevention and control posts under its management. On behalf of the provincial leaders, Mr. Phạm Hùng Thái gave his best regards to the forces, recognized and praised them for their efforts in the prevention and control of COVID-19 pandemic during the past time. The Standing Deputy Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee said that the COVID-19 pandemic is very complicated. The frontline forces are struggling against it, so the provincial leaders put their trust in the officials and soldiers, wishing them good health, solidarity, overcoming difficulties, fulfilling the task of epidemic prevention and control, as well as protecting border security. On this occasion, the delegation offered gifts to the epidemic prevention posts and checkpoints, including medical equipment, essential supplies and necessities, and offered cash donation worth 3 million Vietnam dong for each allocation area. The gifts, worth a total cost of over 352 million Vietnam dong, are funded from the source of support for the prevention and control of the COVID-19 epidemic managed by the Vietnam Fatherland Branch Committee of the province. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 5 days since the blockade of Winger Company, and with more than 70 workers involved, Kruger Ventilation Industries Vietnam Co. Limited, located in Thanh Cong Industrial Park, so this unit is also locked down.
More than 1,000 workers of Winger Company are isolated in the place. The management board of the non-economic zones, people committees of Trang Bang Thao, leaders of Winger Company Limited, coordinated to organize to ensure the living conditions of workers and regulations on isolation during the quarantine period. And currently, the families of the workers and the functional units have coordinated well to transfer necessary items to the isolation area for the workers. Related to the isolation situation at Winger Company Limited, Mr. Hà Bình Dạo, Vice Chairman of Trang Bang Thao People's Committee, said that at present 400 workers have been isolated on the upper floor of the company's building. And according to the functional units, 100% of F1 in Winger Company Limited has negative test results for the first time. The epidemic situation here is being strictly controlled. We will mobilize on forces to continue to tracing and joining as one, doing everything possible to do well in the fight against the pandemic in the time to come. And to cope with the situation at the large-scale isolation, Thanh Cong Industrial Park and Phước Đông Bờ Lợi Industrial Park also prepare isolation sites with a capacity of about 400,000 people. And currently, TayNinhTV is implementing social distancing according to Directive number 15.
The audience facing the complicated developments and fierce spread of COVID-19, Tay Ninh has been deploying and strictly implementing the instructions on epidemic prevention and control in the spirit of fighting the epidemic like fighting the enemy, doing well the four on-the-spot motto. The province has established 30 more checkpoints on the borderlines, strengthening 159 existing fixed checkpoints and 32 mobile teams to regularly patrol, control and prevent illegal entry and exit. In inland, agencies, units, districts, towns and cities have arranged suitable jobs, promoted the application of information technology in service jobs, don't organize unnecessary meetings and conferences. The necessary contents are transferred to the online meeting. Since midnight on June 25, 2021, Tay Ninh has suspended passenger transport activities from Tay Ninh to provinces and cities and vice versa. Under the direction of Tay Ninh Provincial Steering Committee for Disease Prevention and Control, the Management Boards of Economic Zones, People's Committees of District, Towns and Cities have instructed businesses to strictly implement measures to prevent and control the pandemic according to the workplace safety standards. The Department of Industry and Trade has developed a plan to ensure the supply of essential goods to serve the people's consumption needs at each level. The epidemic development in the areas are blocked and isolated. Continue to implement 3 plans to transport goods through border gates and facilitate enterprises in stabilizing production and business.
Now we come to other news, ladies and gentlemen. Despite the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, Tay Ninh has made efforts to achieve the good results in attract investment. In the first 6 months of this year, the total domestic and foreign investment capital reached more than 8,000 billion Vietnam dong and about $422 million US, of which 52 domestic projects and 11 foreign ones have been granted investment registration certificates and new investment policies, an increase of 40 projects over the same period. The whole province so far has seen about 972 valid projects, in which there are about 339 foreign investment projects and about 633 domestic ones. And the total registered capital is nearly 8,000 million US dollar and more than 93,000 billion Vietnam dong. More than 400 enterprises in Tay Ninh Province have been granted new establishment registration certificates with a total registered capital of more than 4,400 billion Vietnam dong. The number of new businesses increases by 27% over the same period and up to 51% in registered capital. Apart from newly established enterprises, there are also 218 dissolved ones.
The audience, Cui Commune of Dương Minh Châu District, was recognized as meeting new style rural standards in 2015. The locality is keeping up with the criteria and striving to achieve the title of an advanced new style rural commune by 2024. However, reviewing the criteria, Cui Commune is facing many challenges on the way to building an advanced new style rural commune. Cui Commune has a total of 1,570 households with 5,188 people. The people mainly rely on income from rubber tree plantation. The locality has over 400 hectares of rubber plantations of German farmers and nearly 2,371 hectares of rubber trees owned by Cui Rubber Farm. The main labor force in the locality is mainly working as rubber workers, harvesting rubber for German farmers. The rest are working in factories and industrial parks. The income criteria of new style rural communes is 59 million Vietnam dong per person per year. But as building an advanced new style rural commune, the income criteria of people in rural areas must reach 65 million Vietnam dong per person per year.
The labor force is mainly working in industrial parks in the outside locality due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The income of workers is also affected. Generally, the employment situation in the locality is not stable, so the people face difficulties in terms of income. Basically, it is difficult to achieve an income for about 65 million Vietnam dong in the current period.
Most of the agricultural land in Cui Commune planted with rubber trees, leaving very little vacant agricultural land. Previously, Cui Commune established agricultural production service cooperatives. But due to low operational efficiency, Cui Commune had to consolidate the cooperative in the direction of changing its business activities to domestic waste collection.
For years, Cui Commune has basically maintained the new rural criteria set out by the set of criteria. But during the process of implementation, our commune has encountered difficulties with the criterion number 13 on cooperative. For a long time, Cui people have mainly grown rubber trees, but rarely participated in agricultural production.
The set of criteria for advanced new style rural communes has 16 criteria. During the review process, Cui Commune found that it was facing the biggest difficulties in terms of income criteria and production organization. From now to 2024, Cui Commune must fulfill the criteria for achieve the title of an advanced new style rural commune. The income of the locals has decreased sharply as the situation of COVID-19 epidemic is complicated. This is a big challenge for the locality in the process of implementing the National Target Program on New Rural Development. That's all for today, TTV News. Thanks for watching and see you next time.